to you a little bit about the Flyers, but specifically Rick Tocchet. You guys are friends, right? What's your relationship like, and what have you made of what he's done so far here in Philly?
He's doing a great job. I knew he would. He did that in Vancouver. He's building an identity, I think, here with the Flyers. He was part of an identity here years ago, and I think he'd like to sort of reestablish that. Smart guy, good guy. Had dinner with him last night. Talked a little Hockey Canada stuff. Didn't really get into our teams here. So it was good to catch up. Real good. I met him last year. Spent more time with him last year at Four Nations. He's a Hall of Fame guy that's been around. He's got friends that are Hall of Fame guys, and I find him to be just a down-to-earth, humble guy, and so I enjoy spending time with him.
Kind of big picture stuff, since I know you're a big fan of just following the league. It's not just your team that's played a lot of bonus hockey. We've seen overtime way up this year. I think it's something like 28% of games. So do you have a theory on why we're seeing so much bonus hockey?
I think the teams that people maybe underestimated are having good years. They're ahead of maybe where people project them this summer, like the Anaheims, Philadelphia, Chicago. San Jose got off to a tough start and they had a run. So that creates more competitive balance in the league. We've got that term down finally. So I think that's what's happening. I think the teams are it's just the way it is. The rosters are more evenly matched. Don't have a good reason other than that. Simple as that. I don't know if those teams are getting better goaltending than they had. Like I look at Spencer Knight's, having a great year. The young guy in San Jose, Askarov, Dostal in Anaheim. So that's given those teams that maybe in the past were getting down goals and you lose a bit of your hope, that they're giving them confidence. And here, I know Vladar has played well. I had him years ago. Great kid, good goaltender. Probably needed an opportunity. He's taken advantage of it.
What has Akira Schmid shown you lately?
Well, he's been consistent, so that's been the key for him all year. So I wouldn't even say lately. Like, I don't think his game's changed. I mean, he had a great game in Jersey. We played well in front of him. We didn't hang him out to dry. He made the saves he's supposed to. I guess what he's done is he's made timely saves when we needed him to allow us to get back to our games. So been a little more consistent that way with no bad goals or whatever you want to call them, average goals.
Akira will start tonight.
What's that?
Akira will start tonight.
Yeah, he's in tonight.
Any other lineup changes?
No. Same as Long Island.
Is that the normal rotation, or did you not want Carter to play in Philadelphia?
No, Carter wants to play every game. That's one thing. He's a very competitive guy. We discussed coming out of, he'd play 2 out of 3 this week, and coming out of the Ranger game, he wanted to get right back in the net. So that led to the decision on Long Island. We discussed it, obviously, with him, but that was more us making the decision, that Akira had to get back in pretty soon coming off a shutout. So that's how we landed on it. So Carter will I don't usually tell my goalie ahead of time, but I know this, was a subject was brought up. He will 99% play in Columbus, assuming nothing happens between now and then.
Bruce, what did you learn working with Rick Tocchet on the bench at Four Nations?
Smart hockey guy. We worked at the forwards end. So for me, when I was an assistant, I was always at the other end. So now you're head coach, you're part of everything. But I thought we had good discussions on forward spacing in the O-zone, how to support pucks. So we talked about the power play. I do it, but I asked him for input. He's doing a lot of the face-off stuff. So that's probably where we interacted the most.
I talked to John Cooper in Tampa, and he said that Rick was really good at in-game adjustments. Did you see that too?
Yeah, he was. Like between periods, Cooper, he's running a bench. He's got a lot of new players. He's trying to find line chemistry quickly in that tournament. So I thought he did a good job with all his coaches of, getting some input on, okay, that period we didn't seem to generate much. And I thought Talk was really good at, we're our forward away from the puck's too far away from the play. If we get him a little closer, or if he's going to be farther away, we got to automatically release to him. So discussions like that I thought were great.
What did you see from Travis Sanheim also at Four Nations? I know he ran the forwards, but
no, he was good there. He came in. I'm trying to remember all the kind of injury sequences. I know Harley came out of nowhere. I think he was on his way to Jamaica or someplace. So, and I thought maybe Travis got thrown in too when one of the guys, when Theo got hurt, probably, right? So, real good player, steady player, liked his pace, transported pucks, got involved. Like neither one of those two, I compare them a bit because they're a little bit similar when you're watching left shots that I think both ended up playing a little bit on the right side. And there no hesitancy to get up the ice and join the rush. And I think that's the type of team Coop wanted to build, so we fit right in.
Just kind of thinking about lately and the trends, we've seen a lot of extra hockey from this team, but the fact that you were able to come back and score 2 consecutive games in the last minute to force overtime, what can that do for the confidence of the group?
Yeah, I mean, it's huge. We always try to, not to put a lot of pressure on our first power play because usually they're the guys that trying to take care of the game for our special teams, and what they've done in the last couple of games to get 2 goals in the last minute is huge. It gives confidence for our team. At the same time, we're getting some extra points.
And that goal you scored, I know we talked about it after the game, but again, now that you've had a chance to go back and watch it, I mean, was that one of the more special, memorable goals you've scored?
No, I was lucky.
Lucky, come on, you put effort into that.
No, just a good play by Bo. He just put it in the area, and I was just able to get there first, and just it went in.
Well, it's gotten a lot of attention. Have you gotten text messages from other people, former teammates, anything like, hey, dude, that was sick?
No, not really. I think it just one person texted me about it, and I think that was it.
All right, I'll choose to believe you. Mark Stone being back, he's got a point, at least 1 point in every single game that he's played. I know he missed some time, but what does he do for your team, both kind of in the locker room and on the ice?
Well, he's a captain, so he's done it for multiple years. Unfortunately, he's been getting the injuries. So his last year, he had a really good start for the season too. Probably points in every single game, and same thing this year. He's hockey IQ, the way he makes plays, especially on the power play. It's a lot of fun to watch him play, and if you have a chance to play with him, it's just unbelievable. So smart, doesn't force any extra places, just keeps it simple. Makes great places, and he's just an unbelievable player.
What are 1 or 2 words that you would use to describe him?
Unreal.
Unreal.
Yep.
Okay.
Barbie, what about the team's ability here lately to score some goals late and pull out points? The Chicago game, the last couple on the road. What do you attribute that to be able to stay with it late?
Huge. Just like I said, the way our special teams has been lately, I think they've put a lot of effort. With Mark being out, I think it was a little bit a trouble for us. But since he came back, it looks like we're going back on track. So huge to get extra points, tie the games late. Pav got one with 12 seconds left last game. He hasn't scored in a while, so huge for him. And just those guys just been really good for us.
How about the second period? I mean, for as good as your third periods have been, obviously there's been a little bit of struggles in the second period. Is that a point of emphasis tonight to make sure you guys, I guess, have a more complete effort?
Well, hopefully it's going to be better. I mean, looking back to the game against the Rangers, I think we took control in the first period all the way. I think they only had a few shots in the first, and maybe that's why we fell off the track a little bit. We started making extra plays in between the blue lines in the second, and that's why we get caught. So hopefully moving forward we're going to learn from that and be better.